generosity, and forgiveness. But that servant went out and found one of his fellow servants, who owed him 100 denarii. And he laid hands on him and took him by the throat, saying, "Pay me what you owe." Matthew 18, verse 28. Life in the body of Christ could be considered a training ground for heaven. We are, after all, planning to spend eternity with the people who occupy the same pew in the church. If we can learn to coexist in this life when circumstances are less than ideal, it will likely bode well for us in paradise. One of the key lessons in the schoolroom of the local congregation that can be offered to us is the art of generosity, which is something that extends well beyond financial contributions that we place in the offering plate. Once we have learned to be generous with means, we can move on to learn how to be generous with people. To be generous with your time means placing yourself at someone else's disposal, which, given human nature, will likely require cultivation of patience. To be generous with your gifts and talents will likely mean learning to give your best even when someone else calls the shots. And you likely will do things differently than if you were in charge. To be generous with opportunity means giving someone who might not do things perfectly the chance to participate and grow, even when there are others who would be more experienced and thus more efficient. To put it another way, participating in the life of the church means learning to live as a family with people who are not related to you by any blood other than the blood of Christ. And in that regard, perhaps the greatest lesson in life which the church offers is the chance to be generous with forgiveness. I've noticed that the number one reason people seem to give for quitting the church is the treatment they receive from other church members. Unfortunately, it's an all too common thread. Even a simple hi, hello, or good morning, happy Sabbath is too much for some. And that's for visitors. For members in the same congregation, it can get even worse. A church board decision did not go their way. Someone said something cutting and cruel, and it got back to them. They were not invited to hold a particular office in the church. They felt suited and perhaps called to. It happens to all of us. Rather than resign from church life, we can take advantage of a unique opportunity to respond to other people with the same generous selflessness that God has extended to us. Perhaps. But if going to church becomes a business meeting where you just clock in and clock out, that's not a very healthy environment. Which is also too common an element, which I've experienced myself. But it is an opportunity, being selfless with your time, to be distinctly more like Christ, and perhaps begin to understand the depth of his love? No, I don't believe that's possible. He hates sin so much. Not sinners, but hates sin so much. And I am a sinner. He loves me. He died for me. No, I cannot understand that. Grateful for it? Yes. Understand it? No. We should do unto others as we would have them do unto us.